today I want to show you a couple of Zoom tips that I have to help make it a little bit easier for your students to access your Zoom meetings. So one of them is adding those meetings to their Google Calendar so that they can set up their own notifications. Now, if you already have it set to post automatically as an assignment on your Google Classroom, then it's already on your calendar. But if you didn't want to go through the extra work of creating an assignment for every single class meeting, and instead you just created a Zoom link that's reoccurring, then this is how you can sync it with your Google Calendar. And then there's one other tip that I'm going to show you as well. So if you, first of all, look, here is my calendar. You'll notice I don't have any of my Zoom meetings synced with my Google Calendar because I didn't do that step yet. Now, if I come over to this other tab, this is just the Zoom main webpage. So it's zoom.us. If you haven't signed in, go ahead and sign in using your Google accounts. I have signed in, so I'm going to just click on my account. And it brings up my profile. So if I go down here to meetings, you'll notice that I have a reoccurring meeting for my first period students. First, I want to actually show you something in that reoccurring meeting. So I'm actually going to edit that. And I want to edit all of the occurrences for this. So if you have a unique change that you want to do, if you want to cancel one specific Zoom one, you could edit just this occurrence. Or if you want to write a note specific to one occurrence, you can do that. Otherwise, I'm going to make a change for all of my meetings. So I'm going to click on that one. And something that we didn't really talk a lot about before is that you can set a unique password for your meeting. Now, by default, it's a very complicated password. And in a video I was making for the students, if they've already joined your meeting before, they can click on, in the Zoom application, they can click on a little down arrow and choose the meeting based on what you named it. So this meeting is called First Period DEDIC, and the students that have joined my meeting before, they can actually click on that drop-down menu and choose First Period DEDIC, but they have to know my passcode. So I had to have shared it. Now, if you're just sharing a link, then that's fine. Just keep doing that and everything will work out fine. But this might be an easier way for some students to join your class as well. So like I said, initially it was a very complicated one. And you can change this every single day if you wanted to. So if you have a problem with students hopping into your meeting and they shouldn't be, you can change this every day. But remember, if you shared this link when you change the password, it's changing that link. So once you change that password, you have to tell your students what the new password is, because otherwise they're going to get an error saying that the password is incorrect. So be careful doing this, but this is an option. So I'm going to change it to Buckeye for right now. And again, that's going to change the way that link works, but the student can still click on it as long as I tell them that I changed my password. So if I scroll all the way back down to the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and save. And that's going to bring me back to just the overall management of that event, that reoccurring event. So what I'm going to do now so that the students can receive notifications if they so choose to, I'm going to go ahead and click on Google Calendar. And I'm going to choose my Buckeye account because I want to sync it with my Buckeye Calendar. I'm going to give it access. Now, it defaults with all of that unique information that I needed to have. Gives them the address, the link, all of that information. Here's the thing. I don't want it on my calendar because I don't need it as much as my students do. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the calendar that is unique for this classroom. So this is a Google Classroom calendar. Those students all already are part of that. And I'm going to automatically save that. And you'll notice that I have my first period reoccurring meeting. And if I go into the next month, you'll see it keeps happening. If you notice that it also attaches to your personal calendar, you can remove that. So even if I click on this and I delete that event, um, this and all the following events, you are deleting it from the calendar, but you're not deleting it from Zoom. So as far as I know, that if for some reason you don't want to see that, I know I accidentally added it once to my personal calendar and I didn't want to do that, so I deleted it from my personal calendar and it didn't harm the Zoom link at all. The Zoom settings were all still there. It just erased it from the actual calendar. So if you do accidentally add it to the wrong calendar or anything like that, you can delete it from the calendar and not impact how it works on the actual Zoom link. So again, now the students can click on the calendar and get right into the Zoom link. Um, and again, if you're not sure what your passcode is, it's written right here. You can show it to see what that passcode is. So if you forgot changing it and you want to send out a quick notification, it's really just if we start having problems of students that have shared other links to Zoom meetings and we're trying to crack down on who is actually attending these meetings, you can change that password, but just be aware that it might impact the way that that link works because the password is kind of embedded in here. So um, if you're not using the calendar as a way to share the link with the students and you've just built it into your Google Classroom or a Google Slide, a Bitmoji Classroom, whatever it is, just know that automatic password. So you can see right here the password is built into the link. That password will be incorrect, so it's going to ask you for the correct password. So you just have to communicate with your students or their families. But I think that's a great way to keep it secure and to keep it simple for our students as well. Simple in the fact that now it's on their calendar and they can add notifications, they can add alarms, and all the other helpful tools that can help students get into our Zoom meetings, because in the end, that's really all we want. So I hope that's a little helpful and not too confusing. I do apologize because that was a lot of information. Thanks.